Hi, this is Tom with some tips for how to make yourself look really good in an interview, and in this case, specifically on your resume. Now, remember, when you're applying for a job, you have very little time to get an idea across of who you are to your potential employer. An interview is a totally unnatural situation. It's not necessarily in the environment you'll be working in. There are questions that you need to answer and be spot on to make yourself, to give this great impression of you. And it's the same with the resume. You have a page, maybe a page and a half, to say, this is who I am and this is why you should hire me. And talk about all your education, all your experience. How can you make that as effective as possible? You have to polish your experience. You have to make whatever you've done in the past sound amazing, sound very valid and useful for whatever work you're applying for at the time. You want to relate your past experience, make that look shiny, make it look good, so that this job you're getting now, they'll say, oh yeah, they're good because of what they've done before. One way to do that in your resume is to use action words. And I've dealt with this. Because I was a lifeguard in high school. That was my summer job, and I got promoted to head lifeguard. So I basically was the lifeguard in charge of the other lifeguards. Now, what does that really mean? It means that if something wasn't done, it was on me. That I was technically supposed to tell people what to do. But what does a lifeguard do on a daily basis? Mostly sit in a chair, tell kids not to run, and make sure nobody dies. That's it. So if I'm applying for, let's say, an office job, a management position, or even just a low-level office job, I need to make that reality of being a lifeguard seem relevant, seem useful to whatever job that I want now. So let's take a look here. I'm not going to say on my resume, hey, what did you do when you were a lifeguard? Well, I sat in a chair. I got really tan. I used a lot of sunscreen, and I yelled at children most of the day. I'm not going to say that. So what do I do instead? I organized and monitored the daily work of 5 to 7 subordinates. What am I touting here? These are my management skills. I organized. I'm good at organizing, not only my work but other people's work, and monitored. I had responsibility over 5 to 7 subordinates. That is showing management skills as really just a head lifeguard. Not too serious of a position, but it sounds good. I collected feedback from employees and communicated results to management. I'm positioning myself here as a mid-level manager. So I've got subordinates, and they give me ideas. I listen to them, and I talk to management. I'm a good communicator. And I'm a good manager because I listen to feedback from other people, from my subordinates. I enforced rules and guidelines and resolved conflicts between guests. That sounds great. So I've got rules and guidelines, I understand them, and I enforce them. I follow the rules that are set for me. And I resolve conflicts when conflicts come up. These are all management skills. What about right here? I supervised and trained new employees. Again, I'm responsible. I know how to train people, which is huge for a manager. If you have someone new coming in, you don't want them to just waste time learning on the job. You want that to be efficient. And if you have someone who has experience training and supervising new employees, that should be much quicker. So in other words, with these words, I've taken this mundane, not special, far from special experience of being a lifeguard, and I have transformed it into very practical, useful management skills. These words right here that I haven't read: organized, monitored, collected, communicated, enforced, resolved, supervised, trained. Those are action words. You want to use these in your resume when you talk about your experience. When you talk about your experience, don't just say, I was a head lifeguard, I worked there for 2 summers when I was in high school, now I just finished university. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You don't say, I was a lifeguard. You say, I organized and monitored the daily work of 5 to 7 subordinates. That's the way to frame your experience so that you sound excellent. So you can look at these action words. We'll give you some more. That is exactly how to make your experience useful, relevant, and impressive for your potential employer, because you don't have much time. You don't have time to make an impression. Make whatever you write forceful and powerful so that they remember you and so that you seem experienced and ready for whatever job you're applying for. So those are some resume tips for you. Use those action words. Polish, shine your experience. My name is Tom, and I will see you in the next video.